Inside your body, right this very second, there's a microscopic battle going on. It's a totally silent conflict, but it could be deciding the future health of your heart and arteries. Today, we're going to take a look at some incredible research that shines a light on this hidden world.
We all know that high blood pressure and diabetes are huge health challenges. A big part of their dirty work is damaging our blood vessels from the inside out. But what if there was a way to step in right at the cellular level to stop that very first domino from falling? That's the exact question this research is trying to answer.
Okay, so let's get into it. First things first, we've got to understand the enemy. What is actually happening inside our arteries that's causing all this trouble? So the heart of the problem is something called vascular remodeling. I know, sounds super complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Just picture the smooth, flexible pipes in your house. Now imagine they start getting thick, stiff, and all clogged up. The flow gets restricted, the pipes get brittle. Yeah, that's pretty much what vascular remodeling does to our arteries. Not good. So what kicks this whole dangerous process off? Well, the research points a finger at two main culprits. First, a hormone called angiotensin II, which is tied to high blood pressure. And second, high glucose, high blood sugar, which is the classic sign of diabetes. This toxic duo creates a super stressful environment that basically tells the smooth muscle cells in our artery walls to go rogue.
All right, so we've got the problem, we've got the villains. Now scientists started looking for a potential hero, something that could actually stand up to these damaging triggers. And you know what? They might have found one in a natural compound.
Let's meet our hero. Its full name is 1,5-dicafeoquinic acid. Yeah, it's a mouthful, so we're just going to call it 1,5-diCQA. Now, this stuff is a natural compound, and it already has a pretty great reputation as a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. So the big question for the researchers was, could these powers actually work to protect our blood vessel cells? So, to find out, they couldn't just guess, right? They had to put it to the test, and they did it with a really clever experiment right in the lab.
So here's the game plan, and it's basically 4 steps. First, they took the key cells they needed. These are smooth muscle cells from a rat's aorta. Then they hit those cells with that nasty duo we talked about, angiotensin II and high glucose, to mimic what happens with hypertension and diabetes. Next up, they brought in our hero, 15-diCQA, and treated the cells with different amounts of it. And finally, the moment of truth. They measured everything to see what happened. Did the compound actually protect the cells?
And this is the really cool part. We actually get to see the results for ourselves. We get the visual proof of whether this natural compound could make a difference. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so the first big question was all about stress. That toxic duo, angiotensin II and high glucose, creates a ton of oxidative stress in the cells. You can think of it like cellular rust. It's really damaging. So, can 1,5-diCQA calm that storm down? Well, the answer is, wow, it's visually stunning. Look at the left. You see those cells that were hit with the bad stuff? That bright red glow? That's a special marker showing extreme levels of stress. The cells are basically screaming for help. But now look over at the image on the right. These are the cells that also got treated with 1,5-diCQA. See that? See how much dimmer that red glow is? The stress has been massively dialed back. And what we just saw, it wasn't a fluke. The hard data totally confirms it. This chart is just measuring the brightness of that glow we saw. That really tall checkered bar in the middle, that's the huge spike in stress caused by the triggers. Now just follow the bars to the right as they add more and more 1,5-diCalQA. See how the stress just drops? The highest dose, all the way on the right, brings it almost all the way back down to normal. That's incredible. Okay, so it reduces stress. That is a huge win. But there's another dangerous thing these cells do. Under all that stress, they start to move around and multiply like crazy. And that's what makes the artery walls get thick and stiff. So the next question is, can our compound stop that from happening? This is just a fantastic way to see cell movement in action. The scientists basically made a tiny scratch in a layer of cells. Now look on the left. The damaged, untreated cells have swarmed into that gap, nearly closing it completely in just 24 hours. This is exactly the kind of bad behavior that clogs up arteries. But now look at the right. The cells treated with 1,5-diCQA, they've barely budged. It's like it put up a biological force field holding them back.
And yep, you guessed it, the numbers tell the exact same story. That tall black bar shows 100% cell migration in the damaged group. They all rushed in.
But look what happens when you add 1,5-di-CQA. The migration gets cut by more than half. So here's the really crucial takeaway. The compound doesn't just reduce stress, it physically stops the process of artery thickening, right at the source.
So what does all this mean when you put it all together? Well, this isn't just about some cool results for cells in a dish. This is pointing towards a whole new way we might be able to protect our cardiovascular systems.
Let's just quickly recap what this amazing research showed us. 15-di-CQA basically launched a full-scale defense. It slammed the brakes on all that harmful cell movement and multiplication. It quenched that dangerous oxidative stress, that cellular rust. And the researchers found it even helped restore the cell's healthy programming and block the very signals that were telling them to misbehave in the first place.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Here's the powerful conclusion straight from the scientists who did the work. They state that 1,5-DCQA counters the dysfunction of these critical artery cells, and here's the key part, suggesting it has real potential as a future therapy for the damage caused by both high blood pressure and diabetes.
And that brings us to a final and really hopeful thought. Now, this is still early research, of course, but it's a profound reminder that sometimes the most elegant solutions to our most complex health problems might just be found in the natural world all around us, just waiting for us to find them. Makes you wonder, what other secrets are out there?